I got home earlier than planned, holding a small box with a silver watch I spent weeks choosing for our second anniversary. I whispered to myself, hoping Emily would smile the way she used to. When I stepped into the hallway, I heard laughter drifting from the bedroom, her voice, bright and playful, and another voice I knew almost as well as my own. My heart punched my ribs. I froze, gripping the box so tightly the edges dug into my palm. I moved closer, every step heavier than the last, till their words became clear. "He actually thinks today matters," Emily said, laughing softly. "He's so predictable." Daniel's laugh followed, sharp enough to slice through me. Adam always was. He trusts too easily. I felt the floor sway. My fingers trembled, and for a moment I thought the box would fall. I leaned against the wall, trying to breathe, trying to make sense of what I was hearing. Their voices kept rising, each sentence scraping another layer off whatever was left of me. I wanted to walk away, but my feet refused to move. "Open the door," I whispered to myself, though my voice barely existed. I pushed it open, and the sight hit me harder than their voices. Emily sat on the edge of the bed, her hand on Daniel's shoulder, their smiles fading when they saw me. "Adam," she said, not with guilt, but with annoyance. Daniel raised a brow like I'd interrupted something casual. "You're home early," he muttered. I swallowed my breath and said, "I came to surprise you." My voice cracked. Emily rolled her eyes. "You were always too easy." That sentence felt like a blade twisting inside me. "Why, Emily?" I asked. My voice was shaking, but I forced the words out. She shrugged like nothing mattered. "Because I got bored?" Daniel sighed. "Don't make this dramatic, Adam. It just happened." "You were my brother," he shrugged too. "People change." My chest tightened. "And you both thought mocking me was funny?" Emily smirked. "If you weren't so naive, maybe we wouldn't need to." I felt something collapse in my quiet, slow, final. I whispered, "I loved you." Emily looked away, bored again. "And that was your mistake." I felt the room shrinking. My hands loosened, and the anniversary box slipped to the floor. The watch bounced, the sound painfully loud. Daniel muttered, "Come on, man, don't make a scene." I looked at him, wondering how I ever trusted that voice. "A scene?" I asked. "This is my marriage," Emily sighed loudly. "Your marriage was dead months ago. You just never noticed." I felt tears burning behind my eyes, but I refused to let them fall. "Why didn't you tell me?" She shrugged. "Because you would have begged," Daniel added, "and we didn't feel like dealing with that." Their words crushed whatever was left of the man I'd been. I stepped back, feeling the air leave my lungs. "I don't even know who you are anymore," I said. Emily laughed again, softer now, almost pitying. "You were never meant for me, Adam. You were just convenient." Daniel rubbed his forehead like the conversation bored him. "Let's just end this, man. Sign the papers when she sends them." The casual tone tore at me. "So that's it?" I asked. "Years together mean nothing." Emily crossed her arms. "They meant comfort. That's all." I stared at them, two strangers wearing familiar faces, and felt my heart turn cold. I walked out of the room without another word. Their whispers followed me, but I couldn't make out the sentences anymore. Everything sounded like distant noise. In the living room, I stopped and looked at the broken box on the floor. The watch lay there, shining like a cruel joke. I picked it up slowly. My hand shook. "Happy anniversary," I whispered to myself. My voice cracked so hard it barely came out. I left the house, feeling like I was leaving my own skin behind. The morning after Emily and Daniel shattered my world, I sat at the edge of my bed telling myself I needed answers. My hands shook as I dialed Richard and Marianne, but I forced myself to breathe. "We need to talk," I said, trying to keep my voice steady today. I drove to their mansion, feeling like every turn dragged me deeper into something poisonous. When Marianne opened the door, she looked annoyed, not surprised. "Where's Emily?" I asked. She crossed her arms. "Resting," she said. "She told us you caused trouble last night." Her tone hit me like ice. "Trouble," I repeated, stepping inside because she didn't bother inviting me. Richard sat in the living room reading a newspaper like nothing mattered. "Sit," he said, without looking at me. I stayed standing. I'm here to understand why Emily did what she did. My voice cracked, but I held ground. Marianne sighed loudly. You're being dramatic, Adam. I felt my jaw tighten. She cheated on me with my best friend, I said. How is that dramatic? Richard finally put the paper down. Marriage is complicated, he said. Emily was unhappy. You should accept it instead of running here demanding explanations. Unhappy? I whispered. She never told me that. Marianne stepped closer. She didn't need to. You were convenient, Adam. Reliable. Predictable. The words stabbed me the same way Emily's had. So the marriage meant nothing? I asked. Richard shrugged. It meant access, he said. Access to your company and control? What do you mean access? I asked. Richard leaned back. Emily married you because you were useful. Your tech firm has assets worth millions. Once the divorce settles, a portion goes to her. Marianne added, you should be grateful she stayed as long as she did anyway. Anger and disbelief twisted through me. So all of it was planned? I asked. Richard didn't hide anything. Of course. Emily needed stability before she built her own influence. Marianne smirked. And you were the perfect placeholder. Polite. Hardworking. Replaceable. The last word hit harder than everything else combined today. I stepped closer to Richard. You used me, I said. He didn't flinch. Business is business, Adam. Stop taking things personally. I felt my hands curl into fists. She lied to me for years. Marianne shrugged. And you believed her. That isn't our fault. I felt something break inside me. Richard pointed toward the door. Leave before I call security. I stared at him. You're threatening me after everything your daughter did? He nodded. If you try to fight the divorce, I'll make sure you walk away with nothing. My chest tightened, but my voice stayed steady. I'm not afraid. Marianne scoffed. You should be. Men like you crumble easily. I felt heat rise in my chest. Not anymore, I said. She raised an eyebrow. We'll see, Richard added. Sign the papers quietly and move on. I shook my head. No, I'm done letting you decide what happens to me. Richard stood, stepping inches from me. You're weak, Adam. That's why Emily got tired of you. I met his gaze. If being weak means trusting the wrong people, then yes. Marianne rolled her eyes. Always emotional. You'll never survive this. I whispered, watch me. Their expressions tightened instantly that moment. I turned toward the door without waiting for another insult. Marianne muttered something, but I didn't care anymore. Outside, the cold air hit my face like a slap. My thoughts spun as I walked down the steps. Every word they spoke echoed in my head, carving wounds I never noticed at the bottom of the stairs. I stopped and looked back at the mansion. Replaceable, I whispered. The word gnawed at me more than any threat Richard made. I clenched my fists. You think I'm nothing, I said to myself, but I'm not done. The anger inside me finally hardened. I walked to my car with a different heartbeat, heavier and sharper than anything I'd felt before. I have no one left, I said quietly, gripping the steering wheel. Just me. Words didn't scare me. They freed me. And in that moment, something new began to rise inside me. I returned to the house only because I needed documents from my office upstairs. I told myself I'd be quick, but halfway up the stairs, I heard Emily's voice drifting from the study. I paused, my hand tightening on the railing. Adam's still clueless, she said. Daniel laughed. Good. The board will side with us once we present the numbers. My heart pounded. Numbers, board? I leaned closer, Emily continued. Once he's pushed out, we can finally announce us without looking like villains. Daniel replied. He'll look unstable anyway. That helps us. My breath caught. Unstable? I muttered under my breath. Emily scoffed. He trusted me so blindly. It's almost sad, Daniel said. Not really. He made it easy. I felt something inside me twist, something sharp and cold, Emily added. After the divorce, his shares become mine. Dad said the paperwork is almost ready. Daniel whistled. Then we own everything. Perfect. I had to grip the wall to stay steady. You really think he won't fight back? Daniel asked. Emily laughed loud, cruel, familiar. Adam doesn't fight. He breaks quietly. My stomach turned. Daniel added, Good. The company will grow faster without dead weight. I felt rage burning through my veins. I pushed the door open. Dead weight? I said. They froze. Emily stiffened first. Adam, you weren't supposed to hear. I heard enough, I said. Daniel raised his hands. Calm down, man. Don't call me that, I snapped. My voice felt like it belonged to someone else. Emily rolled her eyes. You're overreacting again? I stepped forward. You're planning to steal my company. She said nothing, which was the loudest answer of all. Daniel tried. It's not stealing. It's business. I stared at him. Business. Emily sighed. You weren't built for leadership. We're doing what's best. I clenched my jaw. For who? She didn't answer. I walked out before I did something reckless. My chest felt tight, my thoughts spinning. I drove straight to the company. Clara was working late as usual. When she saw my face, her eyes widened. Sir, are you okay? No, I said. And I need the truth. She hesitated. About what? Emily, her family, the company, all of it. Clara lowered her voice. Let's go to your office. Inside, she closed the door and whispered, I've been wanting to tell you, but I didn't know if you'd believe me. Tell me anyway, I said. She took a deep breath. Your wife and her parents. They've been moving funds, quietly for months. I stared at her. Moving where? 2 shell accounts linked to Daniel, she said. The room suddenly felt smaller. I stepped closer. You're sure? She nodded and handed me a folder. I collected these because something felt wrong. I didn't want you trapped. I opened the folder. Transaction logs, emails, signatures, proof. How long have you known? I asked. A few weeks, she said softly. I didn't want to assume the worst, but I finished for her. But I should have known. She placed a hand on the desk. Sir, Emily doesn't deserve your loyalty. I breathed out slowly. They said I wouldn't fight. Clara frowned. Fight what? I looked at the documents again. Everything. My company. My life, she whispered. Then stop letting them win. Her words hit something in me. If I go down quietly, they win, I said. Clara shook her head. But revenge ruins people too. You're hurt. You need time. I don't have time, I replied. She stepped closer. Saddam, don't do anything you'll regret. I gave a bitter laugh. Regret. I already regret trusting them. Clara's voice softened. You're kind. That isn't weakness. Emily said it was, I muttered. She lied, Clara said. Let me help you fix this. I hesitated. Why? Because you've always treated everyone here with respect, she said. You don't deserve this. Her sincerity cut through the numbness. Thank you, I whispered. She nodded. But promise me you won't destroy yourself trying to destroy them? I didn't answer. I couldn't. I closed the folder slowly. The rage inside me no longer felt wild. It felt focused, cold, controlled. I whispered, they wanted war. Clara swallowed. Adam, I finished quietly, now they'll get it. And for the first time since the betrayal, I felt something solid inside me purpose, sharp and unshakable. I walked into the building before sunrise, my mind already locked on the first strike. Clara's documents sat in my briefcase like a loaded weapon. When I reached my office, I whispered, let's begin, and sent the anonymous report exposing Richard's tax fraud. I imagined his face when the investigators arrived. A cold satisfaction flickered in my chest. An hour later, I headed straight to Emily's office. She looked up, startled. Why are you here so early? She asked. I needed to see you, I said. Her eyes narrowed. You look different. Do I? I replied, stepping inside. She crossed her arms. If this is about the divorce, This is about you. I cut in. She scoffed. What now? Are you here to beg or cry? Or blame me again? I'm done with all that. Her smirk faltered. What does that mean? It means you don't know me anymore, I said. She tried to hold her ground. You're acting ridiculous. Daniel and I don't care about your excuses, I said. Not anymore. She slammed her pen down. You can't talk to me like that. I just did. Her voice rose. You're being childish. Funny, I said softly. I was thinking the same about you. For a moment she froze, confusion flickering through her expression. What are you planning? Nothing you can stop, I said. Her confidence cracked. Are you threatening me? No, I replied. I'm warning you. She stepped back, her breathing uneven. You're scaring me. Good. Her lips parted in shock. What happened to you? You did, I said. You broke me, and now I'm rebuilding. I turned toward the door, but she grabbed my arm. Wait, we can talk about this. Just calm down. I'm calm, I said. You're the one panicking. She let go, her fingers trembling. If you do anything stupid, I won't, I said. But you might. I walked out without another word. Later that afternoon, Daniel summoned me to a private conference room. He smiled as if he were doing charity work. Sit down, he said. I'm fine standing. Suit yourself, he replied, sliding an envelope toward me. This is for you. What is it? I asked closure, he said. Consider it a gift. Enough money to start over somewhere far away? I stared at him. You want me to disappear? It's best for everyone, he said. You're hurt. You're unstable. Emily and I want peace. Peace, I repeated. After everything you did? We didn't want things to get messy, he said. But you're making them messy. I picked up the envelope. How much is my silence worth? More than you deserve, he replied. I felt something in me snap, not loudly, but with a cold precision. I slammed the envelope onto the table. I'm not the man you think I am anymore, he flinched. What's gotten into you? Reality, I said. In clarity, stood up, trying to remain dominant. If you fight us, you'll lose. Maybe, I said, but I won't run. His jaw tightened. You're making a mistake. No, I replied. I'm correcting one. Daniel exhaled sharply. Emily said you were acting strange. I didn't believe her. Now I see it. Good, I said. You should believe her more often. He leaned closer. If you push us, we'll push back. I'm counting on it. He stared at me, waiting for me to crack, to tremble, to apologize. I didn't. I simply met his gaze with the calm that scared Emily earlier. Finally, he said, this won't end well. For you, I answered. Maybe not. I left the room slowly, letting him feel every second of the shift in power. As I stepped into the hallway, my heartbeat felt steady, almost quiet. Clara's documents, the fraud report, Emily's fear. Daniel's frustration, they all swirled together inside me like a storm forming its eye. I whispered, they created this. My voice steadied. Now they'll meet it. I kept walking, each step sharpening my resolve. I felt no guilt, only a steady purpose growing inside me. I wasn't reacting anymore. I was choosing. Every move from now on would be deliberate. Their empire already had cracks, and I was ready to widen them. I woke to the news of Richard's arrest, and my phone kept buzzing. I ignored every message. In the hallway I whispered, it's starting. The weight in my chest didn't lift. It only settled deeper, forming something harder inside me. Emily called before I reached my office. What did you do? She screamed, ask your father. I said, you're destroying us. No, I replied. I'm exposing what you built. You're a devil, Adam, she spat. If that's what you see, fine. Then I hung up. Claire rushed to me the moment I walked in. This is everywhere, she said. I nodded. Good. She looked at me nervously. Are you sure you want this? I want truth, I answered. Truth or revenge? She whispered. I didn't respond. The line between them felt thinner every hour. By noon, headlines screamed about Richard's fraud. Marianne released a frantic denial. but her voice cracked during the live interview. When she broke down mid-sentence, reporters swarmed. I watched from my chair, breathing evenly. They thought they were untouchable, I murmured. Now the world sees differently, Emily called again. You ruined my mother. She yelled. Your mother ruined herself, I said. Stop this, Adam, please. I heard objects smashing in the background. You did this, I said quietly. Not me. You're not human anymore, she cried. Maybe you never knew me at all. Daniel showed up unannounced in my doorway. This isn't funny anymore, he said. Was it ever? I replied. You could have talked to us, he argued. I laughed softly. Talk? Like you talked about erasing me? He froze. Your turn's coming, I said. He stepped closer. Authorities asked about our financials. Did you do that? I shrugged. I don't control the government. Stop acting innocent. He snapped. I'm not innocent, I said. But I'm not your puppet. He muttered something bitter and stormed out. Clara returned later with more updates. Their investors are panicking, she said. They should, I replied. She sat down slowly. Adam, this is collapsing fast. Good. But are you okay? She asked softly. I looked at her, realizing I didn't know the answer. I'm functioning, I finally said. She leaned forward. Tell me what you feel. Nothing helpful, I answered. That scares me more than everything you're doing, she whispered. They burned my world, I said. I'm only returning the fire, but at what cost? I didn't answer. The emptiness inside me felt bottomless. More reports surfaced as the day dragged on. Lawyers distanced themselves from Richard. Former family friends acted shocked for the cameras. I watched every headline drift past like scenery from a train. The victories didn't thrill me. They confirmed what I already knew. Their empire was rotten. Emily sent a final message. I hate you. I stared at it for a long moment, feeling no heat, no sting, just a quiet void. I typed, Goodbye, Emily. No anger. No regret. Just an ending. When I pressed send, it felt like closing a door held open far too long. Daniel tried calling later, but I ignored him. His voicemail said, We can fix this. I deleted it instantly. There was no fixing anything. Their fear meant nothing to me. I walked through the office feeling hollow. Clara stopped me before I left. You're shaking, she said. I hadn't realized. I'm fine, I said. She touched my arm gently. You're not. I pulled away. This isn't about me, I said. It's about balance. You're losing yourself, she whispered. I said nothing. Outside, the evening air felt thin. I whispered, It's only beginning. Now the city lights blurred around the edges, but I kept walking. The coldness inside me grew, settling deeper. Guiding me forward, every downfall felt too easy. Every victory felt hollow. Yet I kept moving, unable and unwilling to stop. Why are you doing this to me? Emily's voice cracked the moment she burst into my office.
Al, please.
Please listen to me. She slammed the door behind her, then stumbled toward me like her legs could barely hold her up. I didn't even stand. What do you want now? I want you to stop, she cried. Please, just stop everything. Her hands trembled as she grabbed my shirt. My family is terrified, and it's all because of you. I looked down at her fingers digging into the fabric. Let go. She shook her head violently. No, not until you listen. Tears streamed down her face. Why are you doing this? Why are you hurting us? Aren't you human? I leaned back slightly, meeting her shaking eyes. You killed me first. She froze, her breath catching. I didn't kill you. You did, I whispered. Maybe not with a weapon, but you still did, she screamed, her voice raw. You're heartless. I know, I said. It's easier to be heartless when you're already dead inside. Emily collapsed to her knees, gripping my shirt like it was the only thing keeping her alive. I never meant to hurt you, that doesn't matter. It does. She shouted. You think I wanted any of this? You think I wanted to marry you? I was forced into it. I stared at her silently. My family pushed me, she said. They said you were stable, kind, dependable. They said you'd take care of me. I didn't even want to be married yet, but they made me. Her voice shook. I tried to love you, but I couldn't. I saw you give up. Every day? She covered her face with her hands. I didn't know what else to do. I don't care anymore, I answered. Her hands dropped. She stared at me, desperate. Please don't say that. It's the truth. Emily crawled closer, grabbing my wrist. Listen to me. If you keep doing this, I'll die. I'll actually die. I swear I yanked my hand back. Don't? What? She whispered. Don't use that, I said. You think threatening your own life will change something in me? It won't. She blinked rapidly. I'm serious. You always are when you want something. Her face twisted in pain. Why are you like this now? Because I learned from the best. Emily shook her head. I'm not manipulating you. You are, I said calmly. You always do this. You cry when you want control. You threaten when you feel it slipping. You break only when you think it'll make me bend. She grabbed my sleeve again. Please, I'm begging you. Don't walk away from me. Don't do this. I'm losing everything. You still don't get it, I said. You already lost me. Like she couldn't imagine a world where I wasn't still hanging on to her. But I wasn't. I stood up slowly. Get up, Emily. She didn't. She stayed kneeling. I can't, she whispered. Not if you leave. I'm not leaving, I said. I'm just done. She reached for my hand again, but I stepped back and her fingers closed around nothing. Please, she whispered. Just tell me what you want. Tell me how to fix this. You can't fix it. There has to be something. There isn't. Her breathing grew shallow. Then what was I to you? A lesson. I walked toward the door. A painful one. She let out a broken sob. I don't want to lose you. You already did. Her voice rose in panic. If you walk out now, you won't do anything, I cut in. You're just scared because you finally lost control. She didn't reply. She just stared at me with wide, shattered eyes. I opened the door. Goodbye, Emily. As I stepped out, I felt nothing but a faint echo of something I couldn't name. My revenge was nearly complete, yet somewhere in the empty space inside me, a quiet question whispered. Had I already lost myself long before she knelt on that floor? I felt nothing. I didn't do anything wrong. Daniel shouted as soon as I walked into the courthouse hallway. His face was pale, twisted with fear. They're trying to pin everything on me. I leaned against the wall. You mean the charges you actually committed? He grabbed my arm desperately. Listen to me. Emily's family is throwing me under the bus. Richard's lawyers are claiming the fraud was my idea. That surprises you? Yes. He yelled. We had a deal. We were in this together. I raised an eyebrow. Together? Daniel swallowed hard. Okay, fine. Not equals. But what? I asked. You thought they'd protect you? Before he could answer, Emily stormed toward us, eyes blazing. You absolute coward, she screamed. You blamed my family? You blamed me? Daniel stepped back. It wasn't like that. It was exactly like that. She snapped. You threw us to the wolves the moment you felt heat. I had to survive. He shouted. You had to betray us again, she said, her voice shaking with fury. You're pathetic, Daniel pointed at her. Your father ordered half of this. He's the reason everything is collapsing. Emily shoved him, and you played along. Don't pretend you're innocent. He shoved her back. I saved you. You destroyed me. She screamed. They were inches from attacking each other. I didn't move to stop it. I simply watched the last thread of their alliance snap. Daniel pointed at me suddenly. This is your fault. He's the one ruining everything. Emily spun toward me. Why are you here? To watch, I said simply. Daniel's voice cracked. You're enjoying this, aren't you? No, I replied. Enjoyment died a long time ago. Stepped closer, trembling. You don't get it. They're going to bury me. I need help. You needed help months ago, I said. When you stabbed me in the back? Emily scoffed. He still thinks you'll save him. Daniel glared at her. Shut up. Make me, she shot back. I sighed. You two deserve each other. Don't say that, Daniel pleaded. Please don't say that. You worked together to destroy me, I said. And now you're destroying each other. That's all. Emily's voice softened unexpectedly. You won, okay? Isn't that enough? No, I told her. It was never about winning. She frowned, confused and angry. Then what do you want? Closure. Daniel stared at me helplessly. And what does that mean? You'll see, I said, later that afternoon. Daniel's company's financials began flashing across every news broadcast. Anonymous leaks, illegal dealings, years of covered transactions, people running from his building, board members resigning. He called me before the second headline even finished airing, the moment I answered. I heard him sobbing. Please, please don't do this. Do what? You know what? I cried. They think I'm a criminal. You are a criminal. We were brothers, he whispered. I closed my eyes at the word. Then why did you stab me first? Silence filled the line. Not even his breathing was steady. Please, he begged. I don't want to lose everything. You already did, I said, and hung up. My phone buzzed again and again. Messages, threats, desperate pleas, but I didn't answer. I didn't need to. The last pieces of my old life were collapsing exactly the way theirs had once collapsed mine. Emily's scream from the courthouse replayed in my head. Proteus, broken. Daniel's voice shaking with fear. The lies, the betrayal, the humiliation I had drowned in for months. Now everything they built together was burning. Clara texted me, "Is this what you wanted?" I stared at the message for a long moment before replying. I just needed the truth to come out. Her response came instantly, and now. I didn't answer. I walked outside instead, into the cold air. Watching the world move normally while mine shifted in ways I couldn't fully understand. Revenge had stopped feeling sharp. It felt dull, now heavy, slow, like something dragging behind me instead of something pushing me forward. Justice wasn't what I sought anymore. It was closure, and I was almost there. You really did it, Emily whispered as she stepped into the empty park. You destroyed everything. My family, my name, my life. I stared at her silently. The wind moved her hair, but her eyes looked dead. You came to say something, I replied. So say it. She let out a shaky breath. I don't even know where to begin. Try honesty, I said. Her laugh was broken. Honesty. After everything? I folded my arms. It's all that's left. She took a step closer. My family lost all their companies. Every asset. Even the house. Reporters are circling every street we hide in. Marianne can't stop crying. Richard won't leave his room. And, I asked. And I'm ruined too, she said. No one will hire me. No one wants to be near me. I'm the woman who betrayed her husband for greed. I didn't respond. She moved closer, voice trembling. Daniel's gone. He disappeared after everything collapsed. I don't even know where he is. I don't know anything anymore. Not my problem, I said. Emily stared at me, stunned. You used to care. That was before you killed the part of me that cared. She swallowed hard. I regret it. I didn't move. Do you? Yes, she whispered. I regret everything. I regret hurting you. I regret lying. I regret choosing my family's pressure over your love. I regret not seeing who you were until it was too late. The pain in her voice didn't touch me. It felt like listening to a stranger's confession. I wish I had loved you the way you loved me, she said. I wish I had tried. You didn't, I answered. She nodded slowly. I know. We stood in silence. She suddenly grabbed my hand. Can you forgive me? I froze. Her fingers trembled against mine. Please, she begged. I have nothing left. Just give me that. Give me forgiveness. My chest felt tight, not from love, but from the memory of the man who once loved her. I can't, I whispered. Her knees buckled, and she collapsed onto the cold ground. Why? She cried. Why can't you? Because the man who could forgive you is dead, I said. You buried him, she sobbed harder, covering her face with both hands. I'm sorry, she choked. I'm so sorry. I took a step back. I believe you. She looked up at me, hope flickering. Then, but belief isn't forgiveness, I said, and it never will be. Her shoulders shook violently. I don't deserve this pain. I looked away. Neither did I. She let out a broken scream. Please don't leave me like this. I turned my back to her. Goodbye, Emily, her voice cracked behind me. Adam, please. I kept walking. Each step felt heavier than the last, but I didn't look back. Not once. When I reached the end of the path, I paused. I expected relief. Victory. Something. But all I felt was a hollow ache spreading through my chest. My revenge was complete. My heart, however, was still shattered, and I realized, for the first time, that winning didn't feel like freedom. It felt like standing in the ruins of a war. I never wanted to fight. I walked toward the parking lot, and my phone buzzed in my pocket. I didn't want to answer, but something in me pressed accept. Clara's voice came through gently. Are you okay? She asked. I didn't know what to say. It's over, I told her. She paused. You don't sound free. I stared at the dark sky. Ending something isn't the same as healing, I said. Revenge doesn't give you back what you lost. Clara exhaled softly. Then maybe now you can finally start rebuilding. Neither of us spoke. The wind brushed past me, cold and sharp. Adam, she said quietly, don't stay in the darkness they left you in. Her words hit deeper than I expected. When the call ended, I looked at my reflection in the car window. I didn't see victory. I saw a man trying to remember who he was before the world broke him. I sat in my office long after the sun had set, staring at the blank wall as if it could explain why my chest felt hollow. When Clara walked in, I didn't even lift my head. You shouldn't be here, I muttered. I should, she said, pulling the chair beside me. You've been silent for hours. Talk to me. There's nothing to say. That's a lie, and you know it. I rubbed my eyes. It's over. The revenge, the chaos, the storm. I thought I'd feel something, and you don't. She asked softly. I feel nothing. Just this emptiness. My voice cracked. I thought taking everything back would fix me. She leaned closer. You didn't just destroy their world. You burned your own with it. I swallowed. So what, Clara? You want me to admit I ruined myself? Yes, she said. Because until you say it out loud, you'll keep pretending you're fine. I'm not fine, I whispered. Say the rest. I slammed my fist on the desk. I'm broken, Clara. Emily broke me. Her lies, her betrayal, the way she looked at me like I never mattered, I carried all of it like poison. Clara didn't move. Finally, the dam inside me cracked. I loved her, I said. God, I loved her so much it scared me. And when she betrayed me, I felt like the world collapsed under my feet. Then why didn't revenge help? Because it couldn't bring back the person I was before. My chest tightened. I thought destroying her life would give me closure, but all I did was stare at the ashes. Clara's voice softened even more. And now? Now I don't know who I am. She reached out, but stopped halfway, giving me space. You can rebuild. You always could. Rebuild what? My company? My life? My heart? All of it, she said. But not if you keep pretending you're some unshakable monster. I let out a shaky breath. I'm tired of being strong. Then don't be, she whispered. Not right now. My vision blurred. For the first time since everything began, I let myself break. Tears slid down my face, quiet and hot. It hurts, Clara, I know. I thought revenge would stop the pain. It doesn't work like that. I ruined myself, didn't I? You got lost, she said gently. But you're not ruined. I wiped my face. Emily asked for forgiveness, and I couldn't give it. I'm not sure I ever will. You don't have to forgive her to move on, Clara said. You just need to forgive yourself. I closed my eyes. For what? For loving the wrong person. For holding on too tight? for bleeding over someone who never deserved your heart. Her words hit deeper than anything else. And what now? Now, she said, you start over. I looked at the documents on my desk, the plans to rebuild my company, new partnerships, new structures. I don't even know where to begin. I do, she said. Start with one step. One call, one decision. Then another. I let out a slow breath. Clara, why are you still here? Because you're not the monster you think you are, she replied. And because everyone deserves someone who sees them clearly. And you see me? More than you see yourself. I stared at her, unsure what to say. I'm scared. That means you're human, she whispered. I nodded slowly. Maybe I can rebuild. Not just the company. Me. That's the spark, she said with a small smile. Hold on to it. I looked around the dim room. It feels like everything burned. Then rise from it. Quiet warmth settled in my chest, small but real. Thank you, Clara. You're welcome. But say it. Say what? That you're choosing to live again. I exhaled. I'm choosing to live again. She stood. Good. Now, let's rebuild your world. I stood up, feeling the weight on my shoulders shift just a little. The night outside was quiet, gentle, as if welcoming me back. Maybe tomorrow wouldn't hurt as much as yesterday. I walked through the tall, rusted gates of Emily's old mansion months after everything ended, feeling the cold winds slide across my skin like a reminder of every choice I made. The place stood like a broken monument, and I whispered, so this is what's left. My footsteps echoed on the cracked path as I moved closer. It's strange, I murmured, seeing the world I once begged to be part of reduced to dust. The wind pushed against me, and I let it. I don't regret what I did, I said. Not the truth I exposed, not the revenge I carried, not the fire I returned. But I can't live there anymore. I looked at the shattered windows. You don't control me now, I whispered to the ghosts of my past. Not Emily, not her family, not the boy I used to be. Clara's voice broke through the quiet behind me. You've been staring at those ruins for a long time. I didn't turn. I needed to see it. One last time. Does it hurt? She asked. No, I said. It's just empty, and that's okay. She stepped closer. You're not here to mourn, right? I'm here to end it, I replied. Really, end it. What does that mean for you? It means I'm done carrying their shadows, I said. I'm done being chained to what they broke. Clara's voice softened. Then say it fully. I inhaled the cold air, letting it settle in my chest. I won't live in revenge anymore, I said. I'm choosing something else. She came to my side. And what's that? Life, I whispered. A real one. Clara tilted her head. In the past? I'm leaving it here, I said, with the ruins where it belongs. She gave a small smile. Then let's walk away. I nodded. Just a moment more. I closed my eyes. Goodbye, I whispered to everything that once defined me. Not because you deserve peace, but because I deserve freedom. When I opened my eyes, the mansion looked smaller, almost powerless. I felt something loosen inside me. Something old finally lifting. I turned away. Clara waited by the gate, her expression soft and warm. Ready? For the first time, I said. She studied my face. You look lighter. I feel lighter, I admitted. It's strange. Strange good? Strange hopeful. She smiled gently. Hope looks good on you. I let out a breath. I didn't think I'd ever feel it again. You fought your demons, she said. You survived them. I met her eyes. I don't want to survive anymore. I want to live. Then live, she whispered. And don't look back. I glanced at her hand before taking it, unsure, but she didn't pull away. Thank you, I said quietly. For what? For staying, I said. Even when I couldn't understand myself. I stayed because you needed someone to believe you could rise again. And now? Now I'm here because you're choosing to rise. We walked toward the car, step by step. For once, the world didn't feel like a battlefield. It felt open, wide, waiting. Clara, I said softly, What do you think happens next? Whatever you want, she answered. I looked up at the sky. Maybe this is my real rebirth, not revenge. She asked. No, I said with a growing warmth in my chest. Not revenge. Not destruction. Just learning how to live again. Then let's begin. Yeah, I whispered. Let's begin. As we reached the car, I paused with my hand on the door. Clara, do you ever think people like me can really change? She faced me fully. You already have. Change doesn't happen in one moment. It happens in every choice you make after. I nodded slowly. Then today is my first real choice. Exactly, she said. And tomorrow can be another. I looked back once more at the distant ruins, but they no longer pulled at me. Clara smiled. Then let the quiet guide you. I breathed in deeply. I think I will. We got into the car, and as the engine started, I felt the future shift just a little. I felt the road open to me.